Welcome inside the John Book Fieldhouse, our 2022 women's volleyball season preview for Concordia Falcon women's volleyball, and being joined by the new head coach Kevin Bittner with the staff last year as an assistant, taking over here this fall. My name is Matt Menzel, and Coach, this off season, how busy has it been for you and just preparing to take over a program?
It's been crazy. Just kind of learning all the off-season stuff, and I didn't have a trial run as an assistant with that. So basically, from the moment our season ended last year to starting that next day all the way up to today, it's been just yeah busy making sure everything's in order and ready to go. But super excited. Took over recruiting right away, and that's been really fun. And I think it's gone really well. So I'm excited to get started here.
So, overall, in your opinion, what is the biggest challenge when taking over a program?
I think finding that balance of what you want to keep from the previous regime, and then kind of inserting my own voice and my own coaching styles into things, and obviously they've been very successful over the past couple of years, so I want to keep that going, but I also kind of want to tailor things to how I like to do them, and make sure that all of that's a good fit with the team, and when working on relationships as the change from being an assistant to being the head coach is a little bit different dynamics with the players and stuff. So that's been a little bit of a challenge, but it's been a fun process too. So
As mentioned, you're no stranger to Falcon volleyball in the stint last fall, and that was a team that would go 23-5, 11-2 in conference play. At one point, winning 17 consecutive matches. When you kind of think back to 2021, what do you feel were the strengths of the team? What areas would you like to see maybe improve here in 2022?
I think the strengths was we were so balanced. We could really attack from any position in the front row. We had a great group of seniors that were great leaders on and off the court. And I think that the transition to this next group is going to be seamless. I think the junior class that are now seniors they've picked up right where those last year seniors had left off. So that's going to continue to be a strength. And then we have some really good freshmen and younger students coming in that are going to fill all the gaps from last year. So I think strength wise we're still going to be super balanced. I would say like weakness, I'd like to be a little bit more consistent in our serve receive. I think we're returning All-American in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
Macy. So we want to make sure that we can get her the ball as often as possible. So that's going to require our serve receive to be just super consistent and be really good with our passing. So that's something I want to. It wasn't terrible last year, but I think it could be a little bit better, so we can make sure we can utilize her as often as possible.
Well, let me ask you about the breakdown of the roster because you did certainly graduated some very talented players, but you bring back a very talented group. There are upwards of 7 seniors on the active roster as we speak. So when you break this team down, is it an experienced team or is it kind of a blend of experience and youth?
It's blended, but I think it's definitely the seniors are going to be the focal point, and then it'll be a great opportunity for those younger kids to learn from them, get to play under them, and kind of get just sort of action in spots instead of counting on them all the time. So it'll be a great mix of veteran leadership along with some really exciting younger players.
And we look at the roster, a very healthy number at 32 right now in training camp. So has it been pretty good competition so far out there on the court?
It's been great. It's been really fun to go back and watch some of the battles we had when we've done 6-on-6 stuff, and just everyone's out there competing. That's one thing I love about it. Is I said from the moment we started, I said let's just go out and compete in everything. And some of those freshmen have no fear, and it's awesome. So they'll come in and they'll challenge the seniors right away, and it's been really, we've had some really big position battles. We've had some tough decisions as coaches, kind of deciding the varsity and reserve rosters as they stand right now, and that might be fluid just because it's so close competition wise, and they all go out there and just bring it every point. So
So the newcomers are fitting really well.
yeah, yep,
Tell us about your coaching staff. A couple of familiar names on the staff with you.
yep. It's been fun to have Kaylee back in the building. She was an All-American here, and I'm sure has some records and stuff, and had just a great playing career. So it's nice to lean on her from a player's perspective. She kind of knows what they're going through at every point. So if it's like, well, we've been doing a lot of jumps, let's maybe scale that back a little bit. We had just 15 hours of practice in the last 3 days, so it's nice to have a day off today. But she definitely helps from that side of things, having that experience and stuff. And Cullen, our reserve coach and our assistant coach, is just he likes to say all gas, no brakes. So he's 100% energy all the time. If we need a pickup of some kind, he provides that. So those two and myself we work really well. We have a really good relationship right now. So I think the team is picking up on how well we work together, and they enjoy kind of some of the back and forth between us too. So that brings some fun to practice too. So.
And this team will be battle tested right from the get-go, challenging non-conference slate, which will begin with a tournament from Kelvin. That coming up on September the 2nd, home opener mid-September here inside the John Book Fieldhouse. To wrap it all up, to sum it all up, what are you most excited about heading into this 2022 season?
I'm super excited about our schedule. That was kind of the first thing when Janelle announced she was leaving, and she was like, "You got to do the schedule." And I'm like, "All right." I spent a lot of time going over numbers for seeing if there was an at-large bid possibility, and it's kind of all based on strength of schedule. So I went out and I was like, who are the best teams? Let's go play them. So that's how I scheduled it. And yeah, so we have last year's. We're going to Calvin, last year's national runner-up, and then we end our kind of regular season with UW Eau Claire coming here, it's national champs. So I went out and got number 1 and number 2, and I was like, let's go see what we can do. So I figure worst case scenario, we're going to be battle tested going into that conference tournament. So I'm excited about all those challenges, and we'll kind of know where we're at right away going to Calvin. So I'm ready to go. I wish we could go tomorrow and play. So got a scrimmage coming up, so that'll have to do for now. But
well, Coach, appreciate the time. All the best
absolutely.
Here this season.
Thank you.
Now being joined by senior setter Sierra Lee. First of all, how was your summer?
Good. Really busy. I was in school, so I didn't really have much of a vacation time, but other than that, it was good.
One of the big stories here during the offseason, of course, with women's volleyball, brand new head coach Kevin Bittner taking over. He was an assistant last fall. Has that so far been a pretty smooth transition?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. Obviously, it's a change, but I think he's doing a really good job filling in her shoes, and he's trying everything he can to make sure all of us are feeling comfortable and incorporating it like still of our practice plans, but it's definitely different, but it's good.
A challenging non-conference slate awaits the Falcons, but so far, how's the team looking in training camp?
Looking really good. We have a lot of incoming freshmen who are super talented. Honestly, this year I would say has been our best competitive year with just bringing in new people. The practices are competitive. Everyone's going hard, so I'm really excited to see what we're out of this season.
Of course, you play a very important role as a setter in helping direct the offense. Are you still kind of getting used to who likes the ball where with some of the newcomers? Are you kind of getting a feel for where they want that ball placed?
Honestly, it's like riding a bike with new hitters. It really is. You just got to figure out that connection early on in the season, which I am, and that's a blessing. And it's been a pretty easy transition so far. So yeah.
Speaking of riding a bike, okay, so because you're major, you tend to miss a match here and there, and that happened last year, and most likely will happen again here this fall. Is it like riding a bike? Okay, you miss a match, you come back, and do you pick up where you left off, or does it take a little bit getting back into that flow?
Honestly, it is like riding a bike. I mean, it sucks, of course, missing those games and missing that connection with my girls. But at the same time, I just come in the next practice, work twice as hard as I did the week before, and I improve myself every day because I am missing those practices and I am missing those games. So I feel like even though I'm a senior and I'm still playing on the court, I still have to prove myself every practice.
No question, this team graduated some very talented athletes from last year, but bring back a lot of talented athletes as well. How close is this team? How close-knit?
We are very close-knit. I think a big part of our program is definitely making sure we establish a good connection within each other, having that tight-knit family bond, and we have a lot of team bonding. We do it almost every week. We make sure we get together at least once a week, and I would say that's what most teams that they can't say they have is that close bond, and that's what makes us so great is because we have that bond on the court, so it comes very easily when we play in the game.
Finally, for you, goals you have for yourself and for the team this fall?
Our goal is definitely getting to that tournament and, of course, winning that conference championship. We want that so bad, and we're close every year. And it's always a learning experience every time that we get. And when we lose, I think we learn from all of that. And I think this year we're coming in hungry and we're ready to go.
Sierra, thanks a lot for your time. All the best this fall.
Thank you.
Jenna Sausage, our guest, the senior outside hitter for the Falcon Women's Volleyball team as they prepare for the 2022 season. Last year, you go back, you had 193 kills, you had 10 assists, 48 service aces, 244 digs, and 29 blocks, a jack of all trades. Outside of what the team was able to do on the court, how individually, were you pleased with the way your season went?
Yes. I mean, I was just go out and try to play as hard as I can, and I'm a person who doesn't like to look at how I'm doing because then I just don't play well. So I like to go out on the court, play my hardest, support my teammates because that's what matters in the end.
Now, this offseason, was there any one aspect of your game or a couple of aspects of your game that you kind of really focused on and said, hey, I want to get better here?
Honestly, physically, I just kept lifting and then really focused on the mental side, just thinking about how I wanted to be a leader for the team, what I needed to do to help my team prepare. I think that was more of my focus.
I was going to ask you about that. Okay, being a senior, being one of the veterans, you certainly bring back a lot of experience, but you also have a number of newcomers. Is there added pressure that you're going to be looked upon now by some of the younger players to be that leader, to step up and be that the person they turn to in a moment of need?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think for any senior, you're always looked at, and in times of pressure, like you're the one who's expected to be able to pull through and be used to pressure situations, and you're leaned on. But I think myself and all the other seniors are more than prepared for that, thanks to all the great leadership we've seen through the past years.
So far in training camp, how are the newcomers fitting in?
Awesome. Our team chemistry is great. All of the newcomers and the returners are super competitive, which is awesome. So I'm really excited to see how the season goes.
So how's training camp been looking?
Competitive. It's going to be a great year. It's hard because there are a lot of newcomers. So we had the last 2 years a team who was with each other for at least 3 years. But I think once we get everyone used to playing with new people, I think we're going to be just as competitive as we have been in the past.
Finally, for you, goals you have for yourself and for the team?
I think for myself is just to stay level-headed and like a rock for my team to rely on, whether that's on the court or off the court. And for the team, honestly, my biggest goal is just to keep everyone connected. Wins and losses are going to happen. You can't exactly control that. Obviously, we want to win. We want a conference championship. That would be an awesome way for our senior class to go out. But I want everyone to remember this senior class and for the program to just keep growing.
All starts September 2nd in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Jenna, thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you.